My man Shaggy is here. Extremely famous Shaggy already, and then you're in a Super Bowl ad on top of that. Is that the first time you've been in a Super Bowl ad before?
No, this is actually my second time. The first time I did was for Cheetos.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, it was me and Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, and we did the whole thing for Cheetos. So this is my second time. Now I'm with Jeep.
That's right. Hey, did they give you a car?
I'm electric.
Get your rhythm in the vibe. Tell the selector you are.
I'm electric.
You are electric. Did they give you a car? You driving around in a Jeep hybrid now because of that? Is that part of the deal?
You know what? Everybody keep asking me, "So Shaggy, have you got the Jeep?" Not yet, but it's early days still. All right, it's early days still. I'm glad you're campaigning for me.
No, I am. And here's another question I have. Maybe this is inappropriate, but I know that commercial cost $7 million to air. So they paid you like you got a lot of money out of this, right?
I'm hoping.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, man, you need to negotiate ahead of time, my dog.
I'm hoping, but listen, it was all every time you're doing one of these commercials, it's always a good payday.
I like that. Obviously, good exposure. And so, why'd you choose? So we can't call it the electric slide; it's the electric boogie. We're calling it that.
Well, it's the electric, but that's the name of the song, the electric boogie. It was always that. You're used to the electric slide because of the dance.
Well, you know I'm always doing that dance. I'm first in line for that dance at the weddings.
Oh yeah. By the
way,
weddings, bar mitzvahs, everywhere in college. It's just that dance has been super popular, and now TikTok is jumping on it too. So yeah, why not?
Yeah. And so why'd you pick it? Just because you like it, or because everyone knows it, or because of the commercial?
Well, you know what? Olivier Francois, who was the CMO of the whole group, got in touch with me and say, "Hey, Shaggy, we're planning on doing a commercial for our electric Jeep, and we want to use the electric boogie. We'd like you to reproduce a new version of it." And I had to, it was really fitting because of the cultural, the cultural meaning of this song. It's such a cultural song. It's an iconic song. Most reggae records back in the early days were only played on rock radio. That was one of the few ones that got played on urban radio. And Cross, it was a big hit. It's the version that got popular was done by Marcia Griffiths. I don't know if you know who Marcia Griffiths is. She's one of the members of the I3s of the original Bob Marley and the Wailers. And the three ladies that sing, she was one of them. And of course, the song was written by Bunny Wailer, who was one of the three members of Bob Marley, with Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer of the original Wailers. So the song is super iconic, right? It is very cultural. And so he wanted somebody that, was from the culture to really produce this track. And of course, it's Super Bowl. It's Rihanna. You got Sheryl Lee Ralph singing the national anthem. It is very, very Caribbean, so to speak. So we had to get it right. And so I went ahead and I got Marcia Griffiths to come back on the track, which she was super, super happy to come on board with me and help us all, even with the electric slides. We had to change the dance to TikTok a little bit. She was very instrumental in that also. And then on top of that, we got three emerging new stars out of Jamaica that's very popular. We got Amber Lee, we got Jamila Falak, and we also have Mayan, which is a great dancehall artist, all ladies, and they just did a phenomenal job on the track.
There's a lot of thought, a lot of history that went into this that I don't think a lot of people realized when they saw the commercial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of history. It's so iconic. And so we had to get it right. We had to get it right. And give big ups to Jeep for bringing me in. They listened to us on every, just every molecule of how we could make it culturally right. And, they kind of rock with us on that. So big up to them on that also.
My man Shaggy was in the Jeep Super Bowl commercial yesterday. The song was on. What do you think about the fact that people can watch the commercial early as opposed to the olden days when you had to watch the Super Bowl and you'd see it for the first
surprise. Time? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new strategy now, I guess, because of all of the different media, the different platforms in media. It's hard for everything to just be on one media. Back in the days, everybody was just focused on the one media. And now it's so many places. You get excited and say, "Oh yeah, I want to see that commercial again." And then you go on Super Bowl. And this one is great, because you got all the animals on there doing the electric slide. You know what I mean? They're doing the whole vibe, which is really, really cool. The GOAT, who's a superstar, GOAT be spitting. So it was just it was a really, really fun commercial, and had a good vibe to it.
What did you bring to the Super Bowl party? Were you like, did you bring the artichoke dip, or like what did you bring over?
Hot wings, man. Hot wings.
Hot wings. That's what you brought. Okay. All right.
Hot wings, man. Yeah, I mean, and the hotter the wings, the better, because the more wings you eat, you got to drink more beer. So
I hear that. I hear that. There going to be families. There were families watching the Super Bowl, of course, and many generations. How many of those generations of people do you think made the next generation listening to your music? Do you ever think about that? How many kids were made because of you, Shaggy?
oh my God, I'm sure I'm responsible for a lot of it, but like I said, it wasn't me.
Okay. Now, hold on. That's my last question. Is my producer Kayla wanted to know if once and for all, was it you?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It wasn't Shaggy.
It wasn't me, man.
Shaggy, man, congratulations on the ad. It's great to talk to you. You were in Chicago with us a few years ago. I hope you'll come back and see us soon. But I hope you get that payday, too. Get that payday.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for rooting for me.